Pahlavi text translated by E.W. West, Part 4, Contents of the Nasks, Clarendon, Oxford University Press, 1892, Selections of Zad Sparam. 1. About the three divisions of Revelation, there is a condensed medium, beneficial and small, of whose subdivision one category, Ragastako, is collected together, that is the Ahunava'ir itself, is a symbol of the Nasks. 2. First, the Ahunava'ir is apportioned into its 3 degrees, Padman, as shown in another chapter, and by a like system, Ragistak, the Gathas, too, are into 3, which are the 3-lined, 4-lined, and 5-lined. Even so, the Nasks are denominated Gathic, Hada, Mathrik, and Law. 3. Then the Ahunava'ir is apportioned into 6, which they call half-lines. Nemgas, so too, the Gathas are into 6, which are called the Ahunava'ite Gatha, the Yasna, the Ustava'ite Gatha, the Spenta Ma'inyu, Spentamato Gatha, the Bohu Kshatra Gatha, and the Vahistoiste Gatha. Even so, the Nasks are into 6, as the Gathas are into 2, which are called 1, the Gathic creation, which is the Yast, and 1, the rest of the Gothic, also the Hada Mathrik, into 2, 1, the Matra of the Arranger, which is the Pakino and Rado Dado Aito, and 1, the Mathra, full of good tokens, which is the rest of the Hada Mathra, and also the law into 2, 1, the law against the demons, which is the Vendidad, and 1, the law of Zarathustra, which is the rest of the law. 4. Then it is apportioned into 21, such as the 21 words, Marik, of the Ahunava'ir. Also, the Gathas are into 21, which are the Ahunava'ir, the praise of righteousness, the performance of the good, and from Yanin Mano unto Airyaman, which being accomplished, Akardo are 21, and the Nasks are 21. 5. Then the Gathas are apportioned into 278 stanzas, the Kesto and the Nasks also into 278 categories, every single category having borne a form like a single verse as regards how much and how anything good is indicated, such as the Patkar Radistan, in which what is legally disputable is reported, Padako, the Zakmistan, by which the penalty of assault, Zakum, is reported, the Storistan, by which the sin and amount of penalty for a wound as regard beasts of burden and cattle are reported, the Aratestaristan, by which battle is reported, the Passus Ha-Urvastan, by which the customary keeping of sheep and control is reported, the Gurdai Zaritunistan, grain sowing code, by which agriculture is reported, the Varastan, by which an ordeal being accomplished is reported, and others of like description. 6. Then the Gathas are apportioned into 1,061 metrical lines, Gas, and the Nasks into 1,000 Has and Bargards. And since the Hadokt is the priestly master, Rado of the Nasks, and the remedy, Darmon, which is a perfect statement about the master of the resurrection, the existence of its Fargards, about the other Fargards, is therefore 1,000 remedies, fully combined, being the grain and fodder that are shut up, Bestako, when over that 1,000 they supply one that is great, which in every way protects them from hail and rain, from the wind, which is hot, and that which is cold. 7. Then the Gathas are apportioned into 6,666 words, Marik, and as to the Nasks too, their own 6,666 ordinances, Dadistano, are therein severed. 8. And the 6,666 words, which are in the Gathas, are an indicator of the period from the adversary having come to the creatures, as far as unto the end of the 6 millenniums, each millennium being 10 centuries, which amount to 60 single centuries, a century being 10 tens, and up to the time when its cold and distress arrive, which become awful, the 600, including the excess as far as 110, are years of the 6,000 years, which are the words of the 6 Gathas that are the first indicator of the 6 millenniums. Therefore, of the 60 centuries are then the 600, and those which are added to them. Zaki, Gal, 9. And after those 6,000, which are the 6,000 years, are the Iryaman of Ashabahist, and the accompanying sayings, Hum Vako, which are at the end of the Gathas. Those are the 57 years of Shoshans, and for the sake of them too are the Iryaman, and from the praise of righteousness, at its end of the consecration of the Iryaman, originally 57 words, Marik, because the praise of righteousness for the Iryaman is 12, and the consecration of the Iryaman is 21, of the original 57. 57 is the number of half the chapters of Al Quran. When we talk about the millenniums, there's proof in the manuscripts themselves that the millennial years and such are not literal. And I think that the 6,666 words and ordinances, and I think it's more of a mystical number. And same thing with 1,000. And 1,000 might actually represent a bigger number than the other.